Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Adam, and today I'm going to be talking about the BLM Mustang that I just picked up. I got him in the online corral back in January. Had him transferred from Idaho to Nebraska, and then was just able to go and pick him up like a day or two ago. So before I get into all of that, one thing I wanted to clear up was in the last video I made talking just about adopting him. Apparently I wasn't very clear based off of a couple of the comments on that video that I was looking for better accommodations for him, but I did already have a facility for him. The problem with that facility, and I thought that I mentioned this in the video, but maybe I didn't, or maybe people just didn't watch it, was that even though I had a facility picked out for him, they were on the higher end price-wise from boarding facilities in the area, and they are about 15 minutes from my work, but they're almost an hour from my house. And so I was really looking for something that was going to be super close by, where I would be able to go and spend a considerable amount of time with him, not just after work on my way home, but particularly on the weekends and stuff, and not have to drive an hour to get there. So I had looked into several different options. I did end up finding a place to keep him, which is where we are right now. This is a ranch just down the road from my house, not even 10 minutes. And so that worked out really well, and cost-wise it's a little bit more cost-effective as well. I did have to go and buy my own panels in order to keep him here, because they didn't have the 6-foot panels required for housing a Mustang. Let me show you guys real quick where we were going to put him, and then I'll show you where we ended up putting him here on the property anyways. Alright, so this is the area where we were going to set his panels up. Again, I was going to take down these panels here and put up my own, since these panels are only about 5.5 feet tall and not the 6 feet that's required by the Bureau of Land Management. But as you can tell, there's a pretty considerable snowdrift here, and I actually dug this area out yesterday, kind of trying to make this work before ultimately changing my mind. But then also I was going to have to address the fact that all of the snow, as it melts, kind of creates a lot of standing water and all the stuff here in this pen, and this pen really needs to be cleaned out. I guess whoever the guy who owns this place had boarding here previously was supposed to be responsible for cleaning these pens out that he had his horse in, and clearly you can tell he did not do a very good job of that, because there's this one here. I don't know if you can really tell in the video, but like there's just, you can tell that they hadn't been cleaned out in a very long time. They're pretty nasty, and I plan on coming over and helping the guy get some of these issues addressed. So I think that he kind of could use a hand over here with some stuff, and you know, I appreciate him letting me keep my horse here. He's actually not a boarding facility, so the fact that he's willing to let me board here and for a pretty reasonable rate, is doing me a huge favor. So I want to help him out. But that's where we were going to keep him. But again, with just the condition of that area right now and the snow drifts that they get there, I just didn't think that it was going to be the best spot for him. So in the video you'll see me unloading him from the trailer into that pen, because I had purchased the panels, but they weren't ready to be picked up by the time we had to go and get the horse. So what we did is we went and picked him up. They were ready to be picked up by the time we got back into town, but we had to use the trailer to get the panels over here. So we unloaded him into those panels. This property is surrounded by about 3 layers of fencing, so I wasn't too concerned about him getting out. He's also been super chill since we got him, but so we put him in there just long enough for us to run down the hill to the big R that's nearby, which is not far away at all, probably 15 minutes. Picked those panels up, brought him here, and then my buddy who came up and helped me get him had to get back home. He's actually my childhood best friend from Albuquerque, New Mexico. For those who don't know, I live in Colorado Springs. So he drove up from Albuquerque with his truck and trailer and then drove out to Nebraska with me to help me get the horse. But he owns 2 or 3 companies that he runs, so he's pretty busy. He had to get home. But nonetheless, we got back with the horse, got him unloaded, went and grabbed the panels, brought him up here, and then I spent basically all day yesterday getting these panels unloaded. Sorry, I'm just gonna set this up real quick. My arms are getting tired. I'm actually really sore from moving those panels around all day yesterday. I had to dig out a couple of spots to get the panels a little bit more level, and the ground here is just super frozen right now. So it was quite the workout. Also, I'm just a bit out of shape at the moment. But anyways, so basically spent all day yesterday setting those panels up and getting him moved. I used some of the panels to create basically a small little enclosure for him, and then create a chute from the pen that he was in to the new one, and then just kind of moved him around until I got all the panels put in place. And he's got more space now. The spot that he's in has a little bit of overhead cover from the pine trees, and the ground seems to stay pretty dry up here, so I think he'll be ultimately happier where he's at right now. So anyways, let me go ahead and take this over there and I'll show you guys his new enclosure. Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and roll some of the footage, me getting him loaded up into the trailer and then unloaded into the pen here. I planned on making a video of us like driving out there and picking him up and driving back, but honestly that would have been a super boring video because we're just driving across the Front Range of Colorado and Nebraska, and it's just basically flat and grassy and mostly dead right now because it's winter. So yeah, anyways, here's some of that footage. All right, so here, that's that pen that we unloaded him into, and then I basically created a chute from that panel across. Had to take down some of the wire here, but this fence was already really messed up. So I'm actually going to help the owner redo this fencing. And then came over here, had some panels set up for him, and just kind of corralled him into here, and then just added all those panels onto the backside and expanded it. So in total we have 11 12-foot panels, so he's got a pretty good size enclosure. And since I know everybody wants me to hurry up and show the horse, here he is. He's a little snorty, but he's actually pretty chill. He's very curious about people. As you can tell, he's just coming right up to the fence. And I've been in there with him a little bit yesterday, moving those panels and stuff around, and he's just been very curious. It's not okay then. Not very like timid at all, really. Yeah, so not very timid at all, but also not aggressive, not super spooky. I mean, considering the fact that he's supposedly an untouched Mustang, he seems pretty okay with people. That being said, looking at his paperwork, he is a 9-year-old gelding. However, he was picked up by the BLM. His capture date was actually 9/11/2020, so they had him for quite a while. Honestly, I'm not really sure why they had him that long, but his capture date was 9/11/2020, and then his gelding date was, I want to say like mid-May, like May 15th maybe, of 2021. So he's been a gelding for a while. He's been in captivity for a while. So maybe that's why he's a little bit more used to human interaction. I'm not sure, but we'll see how today goes. This is the first time I'm gonna be in there actually like trying to work with him. And that being said, I am not a trainer. I'm not a professional. So this is not in any way, shape, or form meant to be any kind of an instructional video on how to work with a wild horse. I've been doing a lot of research of my own. One person I've been watching a lot of is, I think his name is Ryan Rose on YouTube. So yeah, just doing a lot of my own research, but this is not in any way, shape, or form an instructional video. If you guys want to give me some constructive criticism down in the comments, I will 100% take that into consideration. I know there's different theories and different ways of doing things out there, but yeah, anyways, without further ado, I think we're going to jump into working with him a little bit. Also, I got to change the battery out on this camera because it's dying already. Cool, catch you guys in a second. Yeah. I think you are a little curious, huh? Okay. We're cool. Yeah. A little bit chewing. What'd you think? Yeah. Easy. Okay. Can I get your neck tag off? Huh? Neck tag's kind of hard to get off from over here. Yeah. You're okay. You're okay. Look, hey. Okay. You're fine. This hand too? Okay. Yeah. Good. What are you doing? You hear those cars back there? Huh? So the battery died on my GoPro, and I'm about to probably get his neck tag off. And my battery's about to die on my phone. You gonna let me get your neck tag off, buddy? Huh? I already got it untied. What? Does that feel better? He's like, okay, you're done touching me now. You got that off. That's all I wanted. Well, that's probably going to be it for the video today because, like I said, my phone's about to die. Both my GoPro batteries are dead. So, probably just spend a few more minutes here just kind of hanging out with them. And Catch you guys in the next video.